So, Tesla's latest quarter. It's a real head-scratcher. You've got this story of incredible, record-breaking growth, but at the same time, their profits are shrinking. For anyone invested in Tesla, or even just watching it, that's the big puzzle we need to piece together today.
All right, let's dive right in and try to make sense of this. We're going to start with the big headline numbers, the ones that really paint the picture of this quarter. First thing you see, the revenue, a record-setting $28.1 billion. I mean, just let that sink in. That is a huge number. It tells you that demand for their stuff is just off the charts, even with all the competition out there.
Okay, but here's the twist. This is really the core issue of the whole quarter. Yeah, revenue was up a solid 12% compared to last year, but their operating income, that fell a lot, down 40%. So they're making more money, but keeping less of it. The big question is, where did it all go? Let's dig in.
But before we get into all the spending, let's talk about the good stuff because, man, on the growth side, things are looking incredible. They are absolutely firing on all cylinders.
Get this, a new record for deliveries. We're talking almost 500,000 cars, 497,099 to be precise. Getting that many cars to customers all around the world in just 3 months? That is a mind-boggling achievement for any car company, period.
And it's not just the cars anymore. The energy side of the business is just exploding. Take a look at this jump. Their energy storage, we're talking power walls for homes, mega packs for utilities. Deployments are up a staggering 81% from last year. This isn't a side hustle anymore. It's becoming a really serious part of their future.
Now, this next number, this is absolutely crucial if you're an investor. Even with all those rising costs, Tesla generated a record $4 billion in free cash flow. So what is that? It's basically the cash they have left after paying all the bills and investing in the business. You can think of it like a giant war chest. It gives them a ton of freedom to fund all their ambitious projects without having to borrow more money. And look, this kind of growth doesn't just happen by accident, right? It's all part of a very clear strategy: make the cars more affordable. By rolling out these new standard range versions of the Model 3 and Model Y, they're tapping into a whole new group of buyers who might have been on the fence before.
Okay, so all that amazing growth, well, it came at a price. Now we have to flip the coin over and look at the not-so-great part of the story, the major squeeze on profits.
And this right here, this table, really tells the tale. We're looking at the operating margin. It's a simple idea. How much profit does Tesla actually make for every dollar of sales? Well, last year it was over 10%. This quarter, it was almost cut in half, dropping all the way down to 5.8%. I mean, that is a massive, massive drop.
So what happened? What caused that big drop? Well, it's kind of like a perfect storm. First, their operating expenses just skyrocketed, up 50%, mostly because of huge R&D and AI projects. On top of that, the cost to build each car actually ticked up a little. And to make matters worse, they brought in less cash from things like regulatory credits, which are usually pure profit.
You know that 50% jump in spending we just mentioned? That's the real key here, because it points directly to what this is all about. Tesla is making a massive, all-in bet on the future. And that future, in their eyes, is artificial intelligence.
I mean, it's the question on every investor's mind, right? You see a 50% spike in spending, and you can't help but ask, okay, what exactly are you guys building with all that money?
And the answer is surprisingly simple. It's 2 letters, AI. The company comes right out and says it in their report. A giant piece of that spending is being funneled directly into artificial intelligence, into robotics. Yep, we're talking about the Optimus humanoid robot and a bunch of other really ambitious research projects.
And you can actually see the data that backs this up. A huge piece of this AI puzzle is full self-driving. Just look at this. The Tesla fleet has now driven over 5.5 billion miles with their latest software. Think about that. Every single one of those miles is data, real-world experience that's constantly feeding back into their AI, making it smarter and smarter.
And this photo, this just perfectly shows how their ambition goes way, way beyond cars. This, of course, is Optimus, their humanoid robot. And here's the crazy part. The company just confirmed they're actually installing the first production lines for it. This thing is moving from a science project to an actual product.
And these massive AI bets, they're already starting to become real services you can use. The robotaxi service, which is basically an autonomous ride-hailing network, launched first in Austin, and now it's up and running in the Bay Area. So this isn't some far-off dream. They're already starting to make money from their self-driving tech.
So let's bring it all together. You've got this insane growth on one side, but these massive, profit-eating investments on the other. If you're an investor, how are you supposed to make sense of all this? Where is this ship really heading?
Well, luckily, Tesla basically tells us themselves. This quote from their outlook is so important. They're essentially saying, hey, look, we're shifting our strategy. They expect the big profits in the future won't just come from selling the physical cars and batteries. The real acceleration is going to come from AI, from software, and from all the services they can sell to the millions of cars already on the road.
In that future, it's starting to look pretty clear. Their roadmap for 2026 is absolutely packed. We're talking about cranking out the Cybercab, that's their purpose-built robotaxi, in huge numbers. Same goes for the Tesla semi-truck, and they're also ramping up the next-gen Megapack for huge energy projects. Big things are on the horizon.
Which brings us to the bottom line, the one critical question that sums this all up. Tesla is making a very clear choice here. They're trading today's profits for what they hope will be total domination in AI tomorrow. So, for any investor, the multi-billion-dollar question is pretty simple. When is that massive bet finally going to pay off?